Carrrnversations. Okay, you guys, welcome to today's Carrrnversations. It is my absolute pleasure and honor. Now, when I say today you're in for a treat, like I'm not even like it's not even, you are in for a treat. I want to start with Ulindo. Just introduce yourself and introduce yourselves and just say, Wuti, who are you? That's it.
Pressure on the spot. My name is Ulindo with a double R. Lindo, like the chocolate.
Oh,
I know, I love that.
Love it. And I am Umamncane Pilene, aka Pinky Mangnele.
And so Mhlampe, just a brief introduction. These two people, they are one person. One person in terms of how you guys think and how you guys see the world. You've got a very special way in how you see the world. And they are deep. Okay, so we're gonna go there. So I'm gonna start off with Mhlampe, when I speak of loving yourself, and when we speak of self-love, for you, Pinky, how does it look like?
Oh, that's hectic.
Yeah.
Especially whenever you throw anything back to self, it's just like but I think it's just accepting myself.
Okay.
And it's showing myself grace in moments and in things that I would show to others. It's being able to think of myself, not highly of myself, but like just being considerate of self as well, and knowing that I matter.
Okay.
So I think it just encompasses all of that, and just being able to be soft and be just loving of self.
Okay. And Lindo, how does loving Ulindo look like?
Messy. I think it's a very messy journey, but I think it's a beautiful journey nonetheless. For me, okay, it's basically what Pinky said. I think she summed it all up. But I also think it's also learning to say yes and no for Lindo, because I'm someone who struggles with saying no. So with having to learn to love me, I'm forced to learn to say no, because like they say, takers take, and they don't stop taking. So yeah,
I think for me was learning to speak up when I'm hurt.
Ooh.
That was a big one. So I'll tell you, I'm a high school teacher. I've got all these children, and there was a class that I love with my whole heart, and sometimes they would take it too far. And I remember being scared to say, guys, we need boundaries, because I feared Uguti, if they see that they've annoyed me, then they might think I don't love them. And it was really I can speak up and say I'm unhappy about this and still be loved. I can say this hurts me and still be loved. And so that means that if I can do it outside, I can do it inside.
True. Ooh,
so if I'm able to say, Pinky, you hurt me, and you still go, I'm sorry, and you still love me, and I feel there's no vibe here, there's no like magic, like we really get into it, then I'm able to sit with myself and go, you didn't do good there, girl. That was we can do, and I can, and as I do it lovingly, I'm able to, and so if I'm still loved outside, then I'm still loved on the inside. So for me, self-love now really looks like speaking up for myself. And when I say speaking up for myself, it's sometimes I have to speak up for myself within myself, where there's conflicts happening within, and I have to go, no, don't speak to yourself like that. I'm fighting me, and I'm speaking up for myself within myself, and I go, oh no, I know how you're feeling. I know this happened, and now my next question is, do you have an expectation of others to treat you a certain way?
Sure. In what sense? Maybe?
So in a sense of when you walk into rooms or when you meet people, do you have a certain expectation of, I expect people to treat me like this?
Of course. I mean, as Ulindo, the way I carry myself, I'm a friendly person. I would like to think that, yeah, I do. Approach abantu ngokuhlonipha, so I choose to respect people, and I would love that to be reciprocated, because I'm in no way going to make you feel small. I'm in no way, I'm not going to put you in a corner or try to isolate you or make you feel any type of way. And so if I'm going to meet you, I'll be warm, because that's exactly what I'm expecting back. Okay. And if I don't get that back, then the conversation within self before.
That's what I want to get to. That's what I want to get to, is then what happens when how you expect to be treated now how you are is inconsistent with how you actually are being treated. How do you love yourself in that situation where you walked in a space or you walked in the room and you were like, I expected to be treated like this, and then that didn't happen? How do you love yourself in those moments?
Yeah, I think I've been burned too many times that I don't expect anymore. Like, I feel like I'm at a point where I literally go into any room or any situation just waiting to see like, how can you show up, so that I meet you there, because I'm a lover. I know my heart. I know the kind of person that I am. I know I'm kind, and sometimes people take advantage of that, and I'm tired of the end result of that. So in that, I'm now at a point where I withdraw and I just meet you where you are, and then from there we can see with do I deposit more, or do I get to decide, okay, this is how I'm gonna show up in your life, and this is how I'm gonna love you, so that I can love myself enough to protect myself.
Okay.
So it's that for me with when people don't actually give me what I had expected or anticipated, I then withdraw and choose myself, and that in that moment is self-love for me, where I get to choose myself and walk away from that expectation, because people can hurt you, man.
I think for me, I'm different in a sense of I don't treat people. How I treat people is not a reflection of how they treat me. Right? I treat people how I treat people.
Yeah. Same.
Right?
Yeah.
And when I walk into a room, I walk into the room expecting to be loved.
Yes.
I walk into the room expecting to be loved, and I expect to be seen.
Yes.
I really walk into the room expecting to be loved and to be seen. And so, because I see myself, right? And so a lot of the time, so when I walk into a room and I'm not seen, I think I walk out. Then I know this is not a room for me. I would not raise it up. Someday I will, if the room matters. If the space is important, if the space allows, and I feel like this space, I really wanted to be here. I really wanted to be in the space. And I'm like, hey, can you see me? Because for me, and when I say being seen, that's so important to me, because I don't want you to expect something from me that I don't have the capacity of. But if you see me, then you know my capacity. So ultimately, I'm saying, no, Wuti, you can expect this from me, and there's certain things that you just not.
I feel like with that, like, I get you, and I think I'm speaking from a point of been there, and got burnt.
Got you.
You
Got
know, and it's not that I don't love people, I don't show them respect. I still do. But my expectation
Got
of
you.
that being received and given back,
Okay.
it has I don't want to say it has like left my system, because sometimes it does come up, but to run away from that kind of disappointment, because with that I've learned, Uguti, especially with being seen, if I walk in and I'm expecting them to hear me, to see me, to love me, and they don't, I end up doubting myself.
Got you.
Even in rooms
Got you.
where I'm supposed to be
Where you're
confident,
meant to be here.
you know, and
Got
when
you.
they actually see me, I now need that reassurance of, do you really see me? Like, do you really love me? And they're like, but like, this is what, like, we gave it to you, you know, like, we're gonna take it back if you're gonna keep asking us, you know, if we're feeling like this about you or whatnot. So I think for me, it's just it's like a wall that I've now built for myself to protect myself, you know, which is not good at times, but I feel like, especially being a person who has difficulties saying no, and I'm now being more intentional about, in things that I don't want to do, I'm now able to say actually no, or things that I don't want to say or whatever, I'm practicing the ability to say no. And it's not easy, but it's those walls that are now a form of like a boundary that help me in those spaces.
Sorry. Okay. I can hear you, and I agree with a lot that you're saying, because I found myself in a situation where I'm at work, people are saying things are coming back to me, and I start doubting myself. And my work, it starts showing in my work, because now I'm affected by what is going on. And I was doing what you were doing and withdrawing. And then, I don't know, it was just like an epiphany, I guess. I realized building those walls can be murky waters, because you start operating from a place of fear, because now you're actually locking yourself in, because even though you're saying no, those walls don't, your no is supposed to be the boundary. The wall is not supposed to be the no. So yeah, I just wanted to add on that it you must just watch, because sometimes you build these walls thinking you're protecting yourself, but it's actually you're creating you're going to, what do they call it, you're going to implode. So you're going to explode from the inside out, because one day someone not necessarily will break the wall, but like water, they'll seep in, and you're going to self-destruct, because now you've created this
all these walls.
So it's
Should see somewhere we need to know the difference between a wall and a boundary.
yes.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point, because there's a thin line. There's a thin line.
A wall and a fence.
Yes, because we tend to downplay the amount of baggage or what's going on? Okay.
So while we were shooting, we were busy talking about self-love.
Oh my
God! And then decides to call.
The power of Indoda.
Hello.
Indoda.
And she greets him.
You see?
And she's talking to him.
And she leaves.
And
the
she
power
leaves.
Of Indoda.
So I've been saying, okay? I've been saying, it's the change. We were having a
Love it.
She went out from the depth. and she just decided
She chose love.
She chose love. She chose love. And what I wanted to say is, do you think we can tell when somebody doesn't love themselves?
Oh, yes. Yes. Because you project.
Ooh.
You project.
Tell me something about that.
Like,
What do you mean?
Like, if you don't love yourself, you project that. If you love yourself, you project it. And if you don't, you also project that.
Got you.
You see it in how, especially with women, easy. They'll easily just bash you. You know, they'll look at your flaws and want to like put a spotlight on all the things that you are doing wrong and all the things that are imperfect about you, instead of shining a light on what you're actually doing right.
So what I'm hearing you say is, when we meet other women who are mean, you walk in the room and women are just mean. It's a projection of you don't love yourself.
You don't love yourself enough, because if you did love yourself, we would see it with the grace, we'd see it with the kind words, we'd see it with the respect. You know, the one thing about love is you can't force it and you can't fake it. Like it's just there.
It just is.
It's just there, and there is no room in it to be a mean person. There is no room in it to be unkind, if I can put it like that, or just harsh. You know, with love, there's just so much kindness and just there's a soft landing in love, if I can put it like that. You know,
there's a soft landing in love. I love that. And how do you think we teach? How can we teach women how to love themselves? Suppose you had a little girl. How would you teach your little girl? You are umamncane. Right? Let me go there.
Yes.
How do you think you can teach your little people how to love themselves?
That's hectic. I think it's in the little things, hey? Like taking care of self.
Okay.
Having honest conversations with self. Being able to put yourself first. I mean, after God. But being able to be kind to yourself in moments that demand you to not be.
Got you.
You know, and showing themselves grace, and I think just taking good care of themselves and the inner selves. That is not the outside. The outside, is like always look clean and representable, but how are you on the inside? That's the most important thing. So for me, I think I'll just teach them to be more self-aware, to be more self-conscious, and bekwazi ukunqaba ngabo in things that don't serve them, I guess.
You're such a spirit, Pinky. You are such a spirit. Like, she's talking and I'm just like, I hear it. Like, lay it on me. You know, you're really, I can see you love you. I can feel it. I really was, the first thing I met when I met you was I met love when I met you. So I can see, love for you is a real thing. That is your space. That is something that you work on. And maybe my last question is, can you tell when you're not loving Pinky? Are you able to pick it up and you go, I'm not loving Pinky at the moment?
But I think for me, it's a delayed
Okay.
Because it's in the choices I make, and in the results of them, that make me actually take a step back and be like, you know what? We didn't love ourselves in that moment. Excuse me. And it's not easy to be able to acknowledge that, you know what, we've lost it. But I've gone to realize that whenever I enter into a dark hole, and it's because of like what Linda said about like the wall, because we tend to think, But we do build these walls, you know, and as much as it's not good, that's why a lot of us go to like therapy and do this and do that. It is to try and navigate through life so much so that I can always choose to love myself and I can always love myself. So it's in moments where I enter into these thoughts or spaces, especially after maybe hurt or loss, like loss of a loved one. I recently experienced that, and it made me forget about myself.
Got you.
And focus on the emotion that it carried. And it made me numb to that self-love. In that, the choices I made and the results thereof made me see, would say, okay, in those moments, Pinky, you actually didn't love yourself.
You didn't.
In the moment, I didn't see.
Got you.
I didn't see it. But it is with those intentional moments that I take for myself where I actually sat down with self and I was like, you know what, let's do damage control. Let's go back to self. Let's do what needs to be done to get to a point where you are back, you know. So yeah.
For me, I know I'm not loving myself when I'm not being authentic. I struggle with authenticity. And that's how I know what's okay. Who's
this now?
Who's this showing up now? I don't know. I don't recognize this person.
Yeah.
So I want to share with you a powerful thing that's happening to me in this moment. I've had a bad day today.
Yeah.
I feel joy and gratitude in my heart, and I know why. I've journaled every single day of this week. Journaling is how I choose myself, because again, like I said, it's how I speak up for myself. So journaling is really, you know, and when I journal, it's okay. I was in therapy. I was in therapy towards the end of last year because my life was falling apart. And when I started talking about, the therapist was asking me, what am I grateful? And I said, I'm grateful for my writing. True story, I started crying. And he said, of all the things you told me, why is writing? why is writing making you cry? And I said, because it saved my life so much. And so even in this moment, journaling makes me see it, gives me perspective, makes me go, today was bad, but I have this moment. But out of this, and even in the journaling, it makes me see it. It makes me see. So when I avoid journaling, I know that I'm avoiding loving on myself. I'm avoiding having the difficult conversations. I'm avoiding getting into, you know. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're so gorgeous and you're such a spirit.
You too.
I love you for watching, and this has been special, even though Ulindo would be here to thank you, but she made her choices, child.
Thank you on Linda's behalf.